Do you think making applications and websites is only for programmers? Even I used to think so. But today I'll show you an easy way using which you can also build apps and websites even if you have no coding skills. So watch this video till the end because the workflow that I'm going to share with you might even surprise you. So without further ado, let's get started. So let us kick off this video by first discussing a little bit about what vibe coding is and why you should care. In simple terms, vibe coding is nothing but a way to build software like applications and websites with AI as your assistant. This has been made possible by the rapid development of large language models and platforms which are using these large language models to do coding. Now, these platforms make it possible for anyone to build apps and websites without any coding background. So why should you care? You should care because it helps you to rapidly bring your ideas to life, and it helps you to bridge the gap between your vision and execution. So if you have any idea to solve any problem that you have observed in your day-to-day life and you want to solve it using an application or a website, it is now possible to actually do it using tools like ChatGPT, like Claude, and a lot of others which are available in the market today. Now, before we go into the details of how to do vibe coding, it is important that we address some of the most common misconceptions that you may encounter during your journey. So the first misconception that I want to highlight here is that many people believe that AI can build everything for you. Now that is a myth because in reality, although AI can build stuff for you, you still need to give it proper guidance and you still need to have a vision of what you need to achieve. It is absolutely essential, and you cannot build anything meaningful without having a vision and without providing the AI tool the proper guidance it needs to realize that vision. The second myth that I want to highlight here is that most people think that there is no planning required. You can just start prompting on the AI platform and it will start building. That is absolutely a myth because in reality, you need to structure your messages or prompts, that we call them, properly in a defined manner so that you get better results. Otherwise, it's going to follow the principle of garbage in, garbage out. The third myth that I want to highlight here is that many people think that vibe coding is only for people who know software development or who are programmers or professionals. But again, with the level of development that has happened in the large language models these days, the platforms that use these LLMs are designed for everyone. All of them mostly are based on a simple chat box interface where you can input your instructions or prompts in simple English language and the platform will take care of the rest of the things. The fourth and the final myth that I want to address over here is that many people consider that vibe coding is not for serious projects. It is only for hobby projects or toy projects as we call them. But that is again a myth because in reality, if you are able to leverage this functionality of different AI platforms properly using vibe coding, there is a real chance that you will be able to build a valuable business that will have a good monetization outcome for you. Now that we have addressed the most common misconceptions around vibe coding, let us look at some of the use cases where you can take advantage of vibe coding. So the first use case I want to highlight today is that you can actually validate your business ideas using vibe coding. How? By building prototypes and minimum viable products. The second use case is that you can automate repetitive tasks that you perform in your day-to-day activities. The third use case is that if you are regularly evaluating tons of data, you can actually use vibe coding to create solutions that will help you generate reports and documentation to improve your data analysis and other requirements. The fourth use case that I want to highlight today is that you can use vibe coding to create tools that will help you collect feedback and conduct surveys. So these are some of the most simplest use cases. Of course, there are many use cases beyond this for which you can use vibe coding and create tools, but these are some of the simplest ones that you can start off with as a non-programmer or a non-technical person. Alright, now that you know the most common misconceptions and use cases around vibe coding, the next question that might come to your mind is, what platforms do I use to do vibe coding? So let me highlight the most popular platforms out there available today for vibe coding and what criteria you should keep in mind while selecting the right platform for yourself. The most popular platforms available out there include Lovable, Bolt, Cursor, V0, GitHub Spark, and Replit. Now, this is not the complete list. There are many other such tools available in the market right now, but these are some of the most popular ones. Among this list, I have personally used Lovable, Bolt, and Replit, and also Cursor for my vibe coding experiments. Now, with a wide variety of these platforms available at your disposal, what are the criteria that you should keep in mind while selecting the right platform for yourself? The first thing that you should keep in mind is how easy is a platform to use depending on your expertise and experience level with coding and programming. The second criteria you should keep in mind is that is this platform connected or integrated with other platforms or not? Because these platforms, although may help you to code your ideas into apps and websites, you also need other services to actually host or publish your apps and websites to the internet. And that is where the different integrations come into picture. The third and the most important aspect that you need to keep in mind is cost and platform specific limitations. With this 3-point checklist, you will be able to shortlist the right vibe coding platform for yourself. At this point, I have a question for you. Have you actually used any of these platforms for yourself? If yes, let me know in the comment section and also share your experience with using these platforms. Alright, so now that you have clarity on how to select the right platform for vibe coding, you will need a workflow using which you will actually be able to bring your ideas to life. To help you do just that, I have created a simple 4-step workflow which I call as the vibe workflow. The V in the workflow stands for visualize. Visualize helps you plan your first vibe coding project. So what does it include? When you are planning your first vibe coding project, the first thing that you need to consider is a problem or a workflow that you want to design. For example, let's say you want to design a feedback collector. It could be anything, but it has to be a meaningful problem that you want to solve. The second step that you need to do is you need to break down that problem into clear steps, which includes, let's say, for a feedback collector, you may consider user input, processing of the data, and then output or report generation. The third step you need to consider is to jot down that workflow or the solution of the problem on a flowchart on a piece of paper. This will help you clearly visualize what you want to achieve or solve using the app or website or workflow that you will create. The second step of the workflow is intuit. Intuit is basically the process where you apply your intuition to achieve or solve a problem. In our workflow, what this means is that you break down the features of the application that you are trying to design and write targeted prompts for the AI platform so that it can effectively translate your vision into a real app. While you're doing that, what is the process that you need to follow? Here is a simple 3-step process. The first step is basically you break down the different features of the app that you are trying to design into small tasks. What you need to understand is that you should focus on one small task at a time. Once you have that, You then start writing clear, direct prompts without any technical terms or general ideas. You try to be as specific as possible when you are drafting a prompt. You can also take help of other tools like ChatGPT or Claude or Perplexity also to separately draft all these prompts so that you have it ready when you want to start building the application. The third step is to test the clarity of your prompt so that you are able to get predictable outputs. Now, this is not a one-off process. You might have to do it or repeat it multiple times by applying your understanding of the problem that you are trying to solve so that you are confident that the prompts that you are going to input into the AI tool will effectively create the app that you have visualized. Once you have gone through the Intuit process, you will have a full set of prompts that will help you give the complete context of what you are trying to achieve to the AI platform. And then the next step is to start building. So when you are building, the first step that you need to focus on is that you need to start small. Start with one task at a time, one prompt at a time, set up the project environment and start prompting. Now, when you are doing that, there are some of the common errors that you are likely to encounter, and the most common one is prompt misunderstanding. So it is highly likely that the AI tool or platform that you are using will misunderstand your prompt. In such cases, all you have to do is edit the prompt and keep retesting it until you get the right result that you are aiming for. Keep doing that and you will have your MVP or prototype in no time. The last step of the workflow is basically where you expand this application that you have built. And the way to do it is by testing and troubleshooting, where you rapidly test all the features and keep refining it. Essentially, you run the app and you check the outputs, and if they are not in line with what you're looking for, you keep prompting the AI platform and improve and extend the project as well. While extending the project, you then focus on adding extra features, one feature at a time. It can be drop down menus, it can be some tagging features, it can be API integration, all of those things. And the principle that you need to keep in mind while doing that is about fast iterations. So make a change, see the results immediately and move on to the next feature. And if it does not work, roll back to the previous version. Using this vibe workflow, you will not only be able to conceptualize the app, but be able to solve a real pain point or a problem that you have encountered in your day-to-day life. Let me show how I was actually able to implement the same vibe workflow to build an application for myself. So you can see here that I used Bolt to create the application, and I started off with asking Bolt itself on how I should plan my app. So it clearly told me what information it needs to realize my vision into building an application. So the first question it asked me is, what is the kind of application I'm trying to build? What is my target audience? What are the core problems I want to solve? Any specific features or functionalities? Any design inspiration or style preferences I have? Other technical considerations like back-end user authentication or other real-time features. And once you give all of this to Bolt, it will understand the vision and plan the core set of features, the technical architecture behind it, the design approach, and the development phase in a prioritized manner. So this is basically the visualization of the app that you are trying to build. To respond effectively to Bolt's requirements, I used ChatGPT to come up with the detailed brief of what application I want Bolt to build. And once I gave all of that, step by step, Bolt was able to help me build the application. And you can see it not only helped me build the application, but also deploy it to a custom domain. So now you can see this entire application is not only built but also hosted on a custom domain, and it is all set with complete functionalities. I can even log in and create new users, and you can see it has all the different features that any professionally built web application might have. It is completely functional, and I was able to build this using the Vibe workflow without any coding knowledge. So that was a quick demo of an application that I was able to build using the Vibe workflow on the Bolt platform. Now, if you are a non-technical person looking to take advantage of these kind of AI platforms and workflows to create applications for solving real problems that you face and possibly monetize them, I invite you to join my VIP Telegram group using the link in the description. In this group, I keep sharing more such frameworks and workflows that will help you not just learn but also grow in the field of not only building prototypes and MVPs but also real businesses using the power of AI. Share your questions and feedback in the comment section below. My name is Prateek and I will see you in the next video.